Hey, how you doing? It's homie Cool Breeze. And this is Shooting the Breeze. We haven't shot this in a while, so it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. Anyway, to my right, I have Michelle Yvonne.
Hey everybody, I am Michelle Yvonne. So glad to be here today in the beautiful Piedmont Park. It's ducks walking around randomly, and it's a nice cool breeze. Look,
Listen,
unintended.
Man, I do what I can when I can. I'm
right on.
I'm just a man.
Making magic.
Today I wanted to talk about race relations.
Ooh,
this
heavy.
was actually her idea, and I'm grateful because I don't always get the opportunity to do this. So I'm definitely with it. What kind of sparked this for you?
Oh my gosh, it's a very sensitive time when it comes to what's going on in the United States right now. I mean, every time you scroll, look left and right, one of us is getting murdered. It's an execution, if you will. It's almost like it's like a lynching. It's like a lynching, minus a rope.
Right.
And I think that it's time that laws need to be passed, and it goes to show how insignificant that they treat us when there's not a law being passed about it. It's swept under the rug. Cops aren't losing their job, and it's weighing heavy on my heart. As an African-American mom, the African-American, but as a mom of a young black man, I mean, it's just like the school season's about to start. If, Corona's over and he's able to stand on a bus stop in the morning, should I be concerned? It's scary. It always hits home anytime you see one of us murdered, but it's just like, it's happening so frequently, and it's just weighing heavy on my heart. It really is. I can't even watch it anymore, but it's heavy.
So the first time for me that I saw something, it was just like, it just caught my eye, and I'm thinking like, this extremely similar to the Arbery situation, was Trayvon Martin. I was in college at the time, and I come home, me and my dad and my brother, we all talking about it.
Are you from that city?
We're from Jacksonville, Florida. But it was big everywhere.
Yeah.
And while we were talking about it, the verdict came in, and it's like, not guilty. And we just looking like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, how could this even like be a possibility after you have all this information?
Yep.
Dude followed him after y'all told him to stay in the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back. It's I like to say in the summertime is when black people die, because
we're out living our best lives. But I think we have to take a step back. And I was talking to my sister about this. It wasn't too long ago that civil rights just happened. We have to think that it wasn't that long ago. We want to think, we made advances in our culture. Yeah, we're doctors and lawyers, and the movie with the astronauts came out, women behind I forgot the name of it, but Hidden Figures came out. So we're showing how amazing we are as a culture, but it's like we'll never be enough. We'll never be equal because we weren't brought here to be equal. And those same people that have that racist mindset are the children and descendants of people who own slaves. Hate is taught. If you look at two kids playing in the playground, that child don't know nothing about hate. It's taught, but we have to even a step further. They fear us. And as we become stronger who we are as a culture, and we stand up, so to speak, they fear us. It's not just about the color of our skin, it's the power that we possess. It's a young man, and I forgot his name, and my memory is horrible. At the end of all his commentary, he always says, "I love you." You know who I'm talking about. I forgot his name. He's so dope. But anyway, he made I'll show you when we get done. But he made a very valid point. He was like, it's almost like a spider. What do you do when you see it? The spider ain't even thinking about you, but you're afraid of what that spider can do.
Kill it.
That spider going along his merry way looking for a roach to suck the blood out of or whatever.
Right.
But you're so afraid of what it could do to you that you're going to execute it. I saw a video last night, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation today. It was a video last night of a man. I want to say it was in Oakland, California, just because I'm from California. It looked kind of familiar, but anyway. He got pulled over off his bike for not having a bell on his bike. Do they sell bikes with bells? I don't know. My bike didn't even got a bell, and I'm 37.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just trying to find.
Crazy.
This is an execution, y'all. This is not just about us being criminals. This is not about us breaking laws. This is about fear. The more we become, the more louder our voices get, and we are going hard. The more they realize that they're becoming inferior.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not a racist at all. I'm from California. I've never had a racist bone in my body, but it's in our face so much.
Yeah. if you start looking at my brother said this crazy thing to me one time. He was like, black people are gonna outnumber white people one of these days.
And they're afraid.
He was like, only thing we have to stop doing is mating with them. But she's telling me, yeah.
I mean, I don't care. Love who you love. I don't care personally.
I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you look at the numbers, black women are the most educated group
Absolutely.
in America. They have opened the most businesses. If I'm not mistaken, y'all are doing the best when it comes to new businesses that are growing. And it like, as our women go, so does the rest of the community. So
yeah, we are the matriarchs. I think if Black History Month is still alive and doing well, especially living here in Atlanta. There's always parades and of course Martin Luther King. But if I could have a real unbiased conversation with a group of white people, I'd really want to understand the mental of a racist. What is it about us that has you so fearful? And I kind of have the answer because for so long in the media, you saw us as gangsters and drug dealers and sag our pants. And we're not all like that. You're talking about a minute section of our culture. I have a master's degree. I'm a mom. I'm all these great things. And it's like, but you only see the skin that I can't take off. That's a mental thing.
right,
Like I haven't said one word to you. I haven't gave you a reason to hate me. But the moment I approach you, you're afraid. This happened yesterday, you guys. I was at QT over in Decatur. Sitting in the car because QT has great pizzas, okay? So I was sitting in the car waiting for my pizza to get done, right? I can't make this up. I swear this happened. So a brother walked past. He has a wife beater on, kind of sagging. That's his swag. Doesn't make him a bad guy. That's how he likes to wear his pants with his ass showing. That's his business. He walked past. Now I'm on the side of QT that has the ATM. So he's sitting right there inside the door, waiting to use the ATM. A white guy gets out of his car. He's approaching the door. He sees the black guy. I read body language. It's the nonverbal communication that tells you so much without even speaking. He was afraid. Within a second, he goes to walk to the front of the QT, goes in there and handle his business. Now, interestingly enough, as he's coming out of the front of the QT, the same black guy's done handling his ATM transaction, and he's coming out of the side door where the ATM was. They meet paths. That brother ain't even worried about him. He looking at his phone, not even worrying. But the white guy slows up a little bit, wait for the black guy to get in his car, and he's still looking over his shoulder. What are you so afraid of? Like, what, how dare you be so arrogant to think that we want something from you? White people steal, murder, kill, rob. It's in every culture. But for some reason, it's just us. And it's just like that they're so afraid of. And it hurts me to my core because the Black Lives Movement matters. The Black Lives Movement is definitely alive and well. All lives matters as well. But what is it about us that makes us so insignificant to them?
Man, I'm with you. I would definitely like to just really meet like a legit racist, somebody who's like, listen, I'm racist, my nigga. Like,
and that's exactly what he said. But he'll add the ER to that. He wouldn't say my nigga.
Oh yeah, I'm racist, nigga.
It'll be different. Yeah.
But I definitely would, just to, like you said, to understand the thinking, because like, it's not enough to just say it's fear.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just say it's hate. It's like you see some, like, it's almost like when you hear about like gang violence. It's like, okay, I know this person. I dislike this person because they did X, Y, Z to my partner. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? There's a reason
behind it.
Reason weaved into this thing.
Yeah.
It's like you just see somebody's skin, and it's like a gang. It's like a flag or something.
And what's so crazy is, there's a lady that was on Oprah many years ago when she was an older white lady. She wore really big glasses, and I forgot her name. But she's
talking about the real little lady with the short hair.
Yeah, real short haircut.
Hair?
Yeah. And she was on Oprah, and she was saying that it's a mental condition, that it's really something wrong with you mentally to see someone's skin and dislike them. And then she brought up the brown eye versus blue eyed thing back in like the 60s. I want to say it was the 60s or 70s, maybe even the 50s, where they showed that brown eyed people. They did a study to show what happens when you treat. They did a study to show, blue-eyed children versus brown-eyed children. They started treating them differently to prove a point that when people are taught that they're insignificant, they start to believe they're insignificant and start behaving in insignificant ways. They start behaving in a way of like less confident, they're not as important, break down their self-esteem. But when they flipped it, oh, they didn't like that. And they did, matter of fact, they even did it on the show. Now, originally it was with children in the classroom, but they did it on the Oprah show where they had the brown-eyed people treated in a superior way. They got to go in first. I think they got like drinks and maybe coffee or something like that, where the blue-eyed people had to wait and they were treated insignificant. And then when everything was brought to life, and they were telling people that this was a study, all hell broke loose. But it goes to show that in society, that when you're treating a race a particular way, you have to be aware of how you're treating them. Like with the whole what is it called when they have white privilege? That shit it exists. If you look at when they have riots, the white people are treated, hey, you guys calm down, everything's okay, you guys be quiet, okay. When it's black people, they act aggressively because they're afraid. And so it goes to my original question is, why do they fear us so much? Like
the Shaka Zulu movie. It's
like, why are you so afraid? Like, even if a white girl came and punched me in the face, I'm not gonna hate all white bitches. I'm gonna hate that one white bitch. I'm gonna wear her ass out. Right. But I mean, I'm a drag. But I mean, I'm not gonna hate a whole race because of that.
Right.
But if one person wrong, one white person, we are just the worst ever. We are.
And even when you look at the Netflix special that had to do with, what was that? The 5 black children that were taken into custody. I believe it was like a rape or something.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about this last week.
But with that said,
yeah,
Donald Trump got on like television and radio, newspaper, put out all kinds of ads against these black kids when it's like they were innocent all along. And like, you really spazzed because it was black kids. Like, there's kind of no other way around it.
There has to be a law passed.
You've seen actors just say like stuff like, I just wanted to go kill the first black person I seen, just because something happened in their community and it was said a black person did it.
But either furthermore though, they're being fueled by the notion that nothing is gonna happen.
Right. Especially if somebody dies and you let them go home.
Nothing's gonna happen.
The officer should be
Eric
charged.
Garner, that man was choking. The young lady it's so many. The young lady who was they faked her death in the jail and they had her.
Sandra Bland.
Yeah, oh my God! I mean, just it's hard for me as a business owner, as a college grad, as a mom, as a black woman. Everything that I represent, I'm bothered to my core. Being an American citizen right now, and I shouldn't walk around in fear. They want to say, go back to your country. This is my country. I was born here. What other country are you talking about? We want to go back to what? I mean, I can't even. I tried doing my ancestry one time on Ancestry.com. I got back to my great grandfather's great grandparents, but at that time they were writing they didn't have birth certificate like we do now. It was handwritten, so that's as far as I go back. So I don't know what part of Africa I'm from. But people are so ignorant. You want to go back to Africa, bitch? What country in Africa? Which one? You know what I mean? So it's just the level of ignorance, and they say that we're ignorant. The level of ignorance in some people that hate us, it's just bothersome. It just hurts me. I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
I think that's probably why to some degree, I like Trump. Not like Trump to the point where like I want to vote for him. I like Trump to the point where like he's good entertainment because it don't make sense.
He entertains people who think like him.
It's like an SNL skit in real life.
Yeah. The closed-minded, stupid idiots that I think like what is it called? Like I always use an analogy. Chicken can't teach chicken how to be beef. And the people that admire Trump and all his antics, that have that same closed-minded thinking, like him for those same reasons. But when you have people who are a little more enlightened, a little more awake with race relations and politics, and really know about communities and all of that, we're not falling for that shit. So I'd rather somebody be a blatant racist than under the table racist. And I said, I'd rather know, like, to my face that you don't like me than to do the antics behind my back to prevent me from growing.
That defeats the purpose of, like, all their little secret stuff. Because if they tell you they're racist, then you're never going to get the same opportunities as you would if you faked it.
But if they, okay, yeah, that's true. I think it depends on what environment we're talking about. If it's at work, then of course, hell, fake it. Let me get this job, you know. But then at the same time, they're going to prevent you from growing and escalating in your position. So you're going to keep me at this $9 an hour rate because you don't want to see me grow. You know what I mean? So I'd rather you tell me you don't like me so that way I can go to other opportunities where I know I have a chance of excelling. So that's what I mean in that way. But my original point is just like, I wish I can have a conversation and understand where grown men and women in your path did this disdain for our skin color derive. I want to understand.
If I was president, I think I'd do like a
open forum.
Yeah, no, if you're racist, just come forward. Listen, it's okay. Like, it doesn't even matter. And then lie to him. No, I mean, got you now.
We got you.
Do you like a predator, like a sex offender? You gotta wear red everywhere you go.
But they're talking about passing a law. I believe it's called the Emmett Till Law or the Emmett Till Act. Because the lady lied on Emmett Till. And then right before she had her book, And then she ended up dying before she got to release her memoir about the whole story. But so they're supposed to be passing a law, and I didn't get a chance to read it thoroughly, and I should have in preparation for the show, but I wasn't sure where we're going with this. But they're about to pass a law in some degree of making it illegal to kill a black person. Look it up. It's called the Emmett Till Act or the Emmett Till Law, but it's about time because this has to stop. The unjust killing of black men and women has to stop. And I even thought about what could I do? What could I do as an individual? I'm not nowhere near politics. I mean, I watch because it's going to affect my community, but what can I do really? And I know we all have a voice, but there's so many people ahead of, so many layers of red tape we have to go to even get our voice heard. So, right. But it just infecting me so bad, y'all. I can't even lie. I'll look at the stories and it brings tears in my eyes because it's like, damn, they're executing us and nothing is getting done. Like right now, I keep on looking over my shoulder. because anything could happen. Right. Hence Ahmaud Arbery. On a job, and then they try to pull up his him going through an abandoned house that was under construction. So what happened was
he ran through an abandoned house?
I guess his neighborhood, it was how they have construction houses and everything. Right. People do it all the time. I think it was on the Young Turk show. I think that's when I saw it on. I always watch not weird stuff. I'm always watching shows. But anyway, so they were trying to bring up some old dirt on him to make them killing him justified. So in his neighborhood, it was a house that was under construction. Of course, open. It wasn't like the construction was happening like with workers. It was just open. The garage was open. He walked through. There was a camera that showed him looking inside. He went outside and continued on his run. That was it.
So he's just checking out the specs of
But then they showed a video of a white person. She says, hey, we're going to go for a run today. We're going to check out some new builds around the corner, walk inside and check the floor plans. They're walking inside the houses just like regular. So it's like, why is there a standard when it comes to us? And it's just not fair. It's just not fair, y'all.
That's crazy.
It's just not fair.
Or remember the dude in Texas that the officer went into the wrong house and shot him?
Yes.
This
the white girl, right?
Yeah, this should be.
How do you know what house? How do you know you went to the wrong apartment?
And if I'm not mistaken, she had just got off work, so it wasn't like she was drunk.
And they try to say she was delirious. She worked a 12-hour shift. I think she was a cop, or he was a cop.
She was a cop.
Yeah. And she was delirious and working a 12-hour shift.
Her partner erased the text messages to him. They actually had to go find the text message. He's like, man,
it hurts. And if I could have a message to the masses, stop killing us. We're not all gangsters and drug dealers and killers, and we're great people, and our lives matter too. And it's so crazy when they say go back to Africa, right? I always gonna say, well, let us take our inventions with us. Let us take all of our inventions that y'all use every day. Let us take our inventions with us because you want us to leave so bad.
That's not happening. But that's why I don't come from, and that's why I do very little of these. The reason being is because I don't come from the perspective like we should, like, I don't want to make no more shirts. And I have a podcast saying this. I don't want to make no more shirts. I don't want to protest no more.
Yeah.
If y'all pass the bill, cool. I feel like black people we need to get our shit together.
Yep.
Like straight.
Yep.
Play their game. Get money. And then from there, build communities to where if something happened, we blame us.
Yep.
We can't point the finger at nobody else because we set it up to where we can try to protect ourselves to some degree.
Our own, absolutely.
And that's it, just straight simple. I feel like there's a lot of things that will have to take place, including like our law enforcement. Like we would have to create our own law enforcement. There's a lot of things that will have to go into this, but like in my mind, I can only see one thing: separation. Like if we don't have to work, because this is the one thing that's brought up every single time this is brought up. This is the next thing that somebody gonna say. Oh, we kill each other all the time.
I was thinking that.
Bad. Yeah. With this community, it's like you can't point the fingers at nobody. It's like, okay, we kill each other, fine. Now, there's nobody else killing us anymore. Now let's solve
blame
this.
ourselves. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
No, not even that. Let's solve this.
Yeah.
Like, why are we killing each other? Right? But yeah, man, it's just crazy.
I think that when you mentioned building a community, so if we look at the black community, I saw a post the other day and it was like, what would it take to make our community strong? And it was like a picture of like some dudes hanging outside the liquor store and all that. And the way I ended up going to college was on some weird manifestation. That's a whole other story type of stuff. But I was at my girlfriend's house. An alumni called for her brother. I was there. And he was like, does anybody else want to go to college? I was in an abusive relationship and it was my opportunity to get out. So it wasn't like I was like a great student in high school and I applied for all these schools and nah. You know what I mean? I'm not, it just was a great opportunity. So on one hand, I feel like the opportunities aren't presented themselves, and I think on the other hand, it's like sometimes we have to make those opportunities. You know what I mean? And so, to my original point is like when I looked at this picture and it said what will be able to make our communities great, I think there's a couple things. Of course, finance is being fed into the community, but I think we have to change our thought processes as well. Right. To me, poverty is a mindset. It's a mindset. So I think poverty is a mindset. So when you see like people, and it bothers me, people getting their refund checks and they blowing it on Jordans and iPhones and all that. For $1,000, you can start a business. So I think that and even being from California, and like us as a culture, we're the same everywhere. I lived in Northern California, I lived in Southern California, I lived in Dallas, I lived in Oklahoma. It's nigga shit everywhere. So it's us as a culture that need to rise up. You know what I mean? But I think also we're afraid. I remember when I moved to Oklahoma, one of my friends said, "Friend, you're not afraid to move to Oklahoma?" My thing is, I'm very courageous. Like, we took a show to New York, I'm going because I have the capacity to make it. But fear has a lot of us stuck on the porch. You know what I mean? So I think that we have to really understand the mindset of our community in order to change our community. Because if we're giving, we can get stimulus checks. What about the data stimulus checks? People's in Walmart buying 60-inch TVs. I mean, that could have been their payroll check, but come on. So they ain't buying 60-inch TVs. Jordans came out a couple weeks. It's like, we have to change our mindset in order for us to grow, because you can give a fool $1,000 and he gonna be foolish. You can give a person who's awake, conscious, and know how to have money, financial knowledge, he gonna grow and flip it the right way.
But this is the one thing I'm gonna say to that. Being conscious, having money, being unconscious hasn't stopped anybody from dying. Like, they kill kids in parks. I'm as far as our community standing up as far as that. People, I agree with that. But I think that us allowing ourselves to separate ourselves first, then it's like, okay, there's no outside influences. I have a mentor that used to say, only one person can train a dog. Like, you can't have like 3 different people trying to train one dog. Only one person can. And I think about this with our community. It's our community. Like, we shouldn't have a bunch of people like running in and out of our community telling us what is right and or what is wrong. It's like, you look at a lot of issues that have to deal with women. There are some women that are like, listen, a man should not comment on this at all.
I 100% agree.
Right?
Yep.
With that same thing, we should not have other races telling us what we should and should not be doing.
As a culture, absolutely.
We need to elect our officials, put our people in place to run our community.
Okay, so that goes even back to my comment about our community, because education. We don't know about politics. The politics ran by old white men. So we have to go even to the educational systems, take a step back and go to education on like a high school level and really show the impact that our vote has. Explain the whole Congress, Senate, legislative branch, explain everything again, because I'm a voter. I believe that I want to believe that my voice has weight to it, but I think we have to take a step back sometimes and really go on a foundational level of where the disconnect is, where's the misunderstanding, where's the miscommunication, where's the fear. Because we have to grow from somewhere. We can't just build some mud on top of something. It's like, we're gonna go from here. No, that foundation ain't solid. It's not solid. So we have to put those key elements in there to build that strong foundation in our community and go from there. We can't just say, hey, y'all over there, y'all gonna vote? Yeah, we voting. Who y'all voting for? All right, old dude who's on the news. You don't even know what the hell he's talking about. You know what I mean? So there has to be a step back and an understanding before we can move forward. And 1 step back, 10 steps forward. We're going like that.
Like that?
Like that. So that's kind of where I am about it. But what I don't like is how when we rock something as a culture, it's frowned upon. But when other races do it, it's okay. That, like the girl who twerking. I want to say, I think she's like Brazilian or something. I don't know who the girl is. Y'all know who I'm talking about. She's twerking. She's very, very popular. She wears cornrows on her hair. She be tearing it up, right? But when we do it, oh my, it's so nasty. Her butt is shaking and blah, blah, blah. That bothers me. When the Kardashians wore the boxer braids, we call them cornrows, cultural appropriation. I personally, Michelle, Yvonne, I don't care. Rock it, do your thing. I'm from California, like I said, so I never experienced racism. I grew up with everybody. Atlanta was a culture shock for me because I've never seen so many black people before functioning in the capacity of a business, and I've never seen it before. The first place I went to when I first got here was the Red Lobster in Camp Creek. I was like, what in the hell? It was a culture shock. I'm not used to it. You know what I mean?
You see a black person in a Bentley every day in Atlanta.
It's definitely different. But I just don't like when our culture's frowned upon, but when other cultures do it, it's okay. So that's the one thing I don't like, cultural appropriation. I don't like that. I don't like to give us our props. I'm not saying after every quote or every style that you. I mean, fashion is fashion, trending is trending, and I get it. But like, twerking come from the motherland. Our dance styles come from the motherland. So I'm not saying that when someone does a twerk video, they should say shots out to the Kenyan tribe or whatever for establishing this dance routine. I'm not saying that, but give us our props.
And that's another thing. I don't even care about the props, because at some point I think that everyone realizes, whether you say it or not, the black culture is leading everything as far as secular, popular,
fashion.
Fashion. In every category, we are what they look at. So it's a matter, by the time my kids become my age, 28, it's gonna be like, this world that we live in right now is gonna be so crazy.
And it's such a scary thought. My son's 13. It's such a scary thought. The good heart, the big old good heart, is like everything's gonna be okay, and this coronavirus is gonna go away. The coronavirus, the pandemic, that's a whole other topic on my thoughts about that. But anyway, this whole coronavirus thing is gonna blow over, and everything's gonna go back to the way it is. But the reality is, if you look at the news, it's like it's getting worse. And it's like, I fear for my son. And my daughter too. I want to school them at home, but I can't shelter them from the world because it makes them naive.
Right.
And I know someone like that back at home. They were homeschooled and they're smart, book smart, but that street smart, it matters. You have to have those adversities to, build character and integrity and things like that. But I'm scared. I'm scared of what it's going to be in 10 years. I'm scared for my black people. I'm scared.
Well, I just hope things get better, and I just want to be a part of that movement any way that I can be within what I do, right? I'm not trying to be Malcolm X or Martin.
Yeah.
Funny thing I thought of the other day, though, Martin could have ran for president. Anyway,
they still would have executed him anyway.
Oh yeah.
I mean his execution was
he had to die.
Yeah.
There was no way they was gonna let a man that powerful. This man was doing a lot. Anyway, this homie Cool Breeze is shooting the breeze. Give them your information.
Hey you guys, like I said, my name is Michelle Yvonne. You can find me on Instagram at THEE, the word the with 2 E's. So _Michelle_Yvonne.
She thinks she made this out.
No, I don't at all. I am the Michelle Yvonne though. I am her. Meg Cool, we
this
two
is the
different type
homie
of
Cool
chicks.
Breeze. You can find me at Cool Breeze Media, YouTube, Instagram. Facebook is at Crystal Negro, and Twitter is King Breeze. Y'all have a good day.
Let's love each other.
Big hugs.
It's little. It's not a room for me to put the ocean.